All right, folks, Samori Benjamin here with Washington Nationals rookie Trey Lipscomb, infielder. Trey, man, thank you for joining me, and it's great meeting you.
Yeah, right on.
And like I was telling you, I really like your game. You're exciting, and I know you played at Tennessee, and your school just won a championship this year, so that's cool. And you're from Maryland, the Maryland area, so how did you grow up in getting into baseball?
Yeah, so growing up, I played all the sports growing up, baseball, football, probably a little bit of soccer too, wrestled a little bit, but I fell in love with the game of baseball at a young age. I felt like it was, when I got to probably around, I don't know, I'd probably say 14, 15, when I was playing baseball year-round down in Florida, I really loved this. And just growing up, playing the game, going through the trials and tribulations, I feel like it's really helped me become the person I am today. Not only on the field, but off the field as well.
So you said you started playing in Florida? You were playing in Florida?
Yeah.
So at what point did you leave Maryland and go to Florida?
So I left Florida to go to Maryland.
Got you.
So I lived in Maryland ever since.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So your early years were in Florida?
You're right.
Cool, man, cool. What part of Florida? Tampa, okay.
Yeah.
Were you said you played all the sports. Were you a fan of any of the Tampa teams growing up?
I really like hockey.
Oh, really, hockey,
so
okay.
we went to a Lightning game a few times. They got the stadium, and they got whenever they scored a goal, they got the little static electricity thing up there, and it's like a little fake lightning bolt. So I really like growing up going to the Lightning game, but yeah, I like hockey too, so I think it's a cool sport.
Cool, yeah, and they won some championships, Tampa did, so
right.
That's cool. It's not a lot of, I talk about how there's, not a lot of Afro-American players playing baseball right now. There's even less playing hockey, so how did you get into hockey?
I think I played the video game for the first time.
Got you.
I was like, I don't know, it was one of the free games on the PlayStation Store. So I bought it NHL, and then from there we went to a few hockey games, and then even now being in DC, we go to a few Capital games too, so I really like it.
Yeah, it makes sense, and so that's probably how you became a soccer fan too, video games, right?
Right.
Yeah, okay. Definitely, man, I heard that. So you played football, did you play football too, growing up?
Yeah, I played football growing up. Stopped playing football probably around, I want to say the age of maybe 13, 14 when I started focusing on baseball full time. Then I picked it back up my senior year of high school. I played for 1 year at Urbana. So I always liked the game of football, and I feel like it was a good thing to do when I was in school, so I did it.
How about basketball?
I played basketball a little bit growing up, a little rec league, but nothing really much more than that.
Cool, man. Okay, so you're in Tampa, and then you decide you make the move to Maryland. Was that strictly for sports, or your family moved to Maryland?
Yeah, it was my family. My dad was always getting promoted, chasing to be a manager of a territory. So when we lived in Florida, he would always come up to DC. So we saw him a good amount of time, on the weekends, but during the week he was coming back and forth. So then we were like, we might as well just move to Maryland. So we moved to Maryland, and then I've been in there ever since.
Yeah, okay, so now at what point did you move to Maryland? High school or?
My sophomore year of high school.
Well, okay, so being so into baseball and being on a track to make it here, at that point you're not sure how it's going to go. Were you concerned at all about leaving somewhere? Were you build anything to go to Maryland?
Not really. I always knew the game of baseball was, no matter what state you're in, obviously Florida's year-round and Maryland might be a little bit less than that, but you get to go during the summertime, you get to go down to Florida and Georgia and play in all the big tournaments. So I thought that, no matter what state you live in, people are going to come see you. And baseball is going to, it was in Maryland, it's in all the states, and even it's a worldwide sport. So I think it's just one of those things where you kind of adapt and got to change to the circumstances. Yeah, and your teammate, another rookie, James Wood, did you know of him in high school? So he went to St. John's for a couple years, then he went to IMG. So I didn't really know of him, or I didn't know him, but I knew of him. And then when he got traded over from the Padres, we started low A together when I first got drafted. So I got to meet with him and hang out with him, and ever since then he's been one of my guys that I like to. We've been all the way through the minor leagues. We've been moving together. So it's pretty cool that he's here now, and I get to watch him in person because the show that he puts on every day it's fun to see with your own two eyes.
Yeah, it's cool. You both made your debut this year. Now, you went to University of Tennessee, like I said earlier. So how did you end up going there?
Like I said, I played baseball in the South, and I always knew that I wanted to play. Just growing up, warmer weather was down there, so I was like, you know what, why don't we try Tennessee? contacted a few of my buddies I used to play with back in the day, and they said, hey, come play with us. And it happened to be they had 2 Tennessee commits on there. So the coaches from the University of Tennessee were always out there watching, and they invited me to a few camps. Went to probably 2 or 3 camps, and they were like, hey, come join us for our team. And it was just Coach Bartello's first recruiting class, so I thought it'd be special. I thought it'd be like, hey, get out there and be some competition off rip. I mean, he was coming new into the program, and so was I. So I felt like we were both on the same page as far as that. Yeah,
and they ended up winning the championship this year, so you were one of the foundation pieces for that program. That's cool. And I know SEC. What was that like? I mean, that's a lot of competition. How was it playing in SEC? Of course, Vanderbilt is right there too.
Right. I mean, I feel like SEC. I mean, you got Texas and Oklahoma joining them, so I feel like everyone's going to the SEC nowadays. But I mean, it's just another conference. I mean, there's a lot of conferences out there. I mean, you see nowadays, especially in the game of baseball, anybody can beat anybody, so it doesn't matter where you go. So I feel like, but obviously Tennessee being one of those schools, I feel like it was cool, and it was nice to see them win the national championship this year.
Yeah, so you get picked in the 3rd round in 2021, right? And so how was that just 3 years ago? How was that experience for you guys when you got drafted?
It was cool. I mean, when the Nationals called, I mean, I was a hometown kid, so I couldn't have been more excited, and just to see the smile on my family's faces, because they were, I mean, it was from when I was a little kid to where I'm at right now. I mean, they still with me, and I feel like that's been one of the huge part of my game, is just having my family behind me.
And you're somebody who, you sound very confident in your ability, and so minor leagues, you made it through there, and a little under 3 years or whatever, and a lot of guys spend several years in the minor league trying to get out. You made it through relatively quickly, so how was your minor league experience?
It was good. I mean, I enjoyed every bit of it, from low A and Fredericksburg, Virginia, to AAA in Rochester, New York. I mean, you go to a bunch of some small cities around the U.S., so it's cool. Like, I think a couple of weeks ago, we went up to Buffalo, and Canada's right there. So you go to some of the cool cities. We got to see the Niagara Falls, but it was cool. And I feel like everybody in this organization, they know what we want to do, and that's win a national win a championship for the Nationals. So I feel like we're all on the same page, pulling the rope the same way, and I think you could tell because the guys coming up and the guys here, I mean, they help us a lot here. Everybody's on the same page.
Yeah, so this year you made your debut, so what do you remember your debut being like?
I remember my family being there and seeing the smiles on their faces. I feel like that was one of the biggest things to me. And then obviously going out there and just playing a game that I love. It was cool to go do that, obviously on a bigger stage, but I mean, you got the guys around you that help you out a lot. They make you feel like you're part of the team. So for me, it was just another baseball game.
I guess it must be cool playing for the Nationals, your family living in Maryland, so you could be playing for any team, but you're playing where your family can come see you.
Right.
So, yeah, so that's really cool. I mean, so now, what's it like? There's a lot of really talented players, a lot of talented black players on the team. James Wood, and of course, C.J. Abrams. He's actually the only Afro-American player who will be playing for the National League All-Star team this year because Mookie Betts is hurt. Right. So Abrams will be the only one. And so a lot of you, not a lot of Afro-Americans really playing the sport anymore. You know, D.C., a lot of black kids in D.C. So what's it like just being able to play with these other young, talented black ball players?
You know, it's cool, and especially having CJ there at shortstop. I mean, I get to play next to him every day, and I think we kind of feed off each other's energy a little bit. You know, he's doing good. I mean, he's picking me up. I'm picking him up sometimes. So I feel like it's just one of those things where, like I said earlier, we're all just pulling on the same rope, and we're going to win a championship, and that's just part of this organization. I think everybody's got their mindset towards that, and it's going to happen if you really believe it. If you believe it, it's true.
Definitely. Okay, just 3 more for you.
Yeah.
When you were growing up, did you have any favorite players?
Yeah, I mean, I grew up a Machado fan. I like Manny Machado, especially because he played infield, third base, shortstop, and he was in Baltimore. I got some friends who said that they're close friends with like his host family when he used to play for the Frederick Keys down there. So it was cool just to hear those stories. And then also just, I mean, he was one of my favorite players, and then Arenado, who I got to see last week, one of my favorite players too. But I mean, other than that, I mean, I just like a player who goes out there and plays and just balls. I like a baller, and I feel like no matter if you're doing good or bad, you can be a baller, you know what I'm saying?
No doubt about it, man. And yes, in terms of making your debut, and has there been a pitcher who you faced and you were like, oh, I watched this guy growing up, I can't believe I'm facing him right now in the major leagues?
Yeah, I mean, they got a new video game nowadays called the Show. So you get to go out there, and I remember when we played the Orioles, I faced Corbin Burns. So I feel like that was pretty cool because I was like, bro, like a year ago I was usually on the show, and I was striking out like 10 a game. So I mean, it's cool to see him, like face him, and then just be on the same stage as him.
Okay, folks, Washington Nationals rookie infielder Trey Lipscomb. Trey, man, I really enjoyed talking to you. You're a great guy, and I'm definitely rooting for you, man.
Right on. I appreciate it, boss.
All right,
Take
brother.
it easy, man.
All right, folks, we're back.